Welcome back to the Dreambolt Palace in Munich, Germany for the European Men's Championship final. Time to meet the two protagonists, Martin Paulsson up against Mats Sandbaekken. Paulsson from Sweden, Sandbaekken from Norway. Alongside me, as always, our Eurosport bowling expert, Cass Edwards. And Cass, just a quick word on the format, because this is something different today.
European rules apply here, Simon. Both players will play on the right-hand lane for a whole game. The reason being is the right-hand lane has got short oil on it, 35 feet. So what they're going to do is going to play one game on the right-hand lane, lane 6, and then they're going to move to the left-hand lane, which has got long oil on it, down to 41 feet. So it's quite a contrast. Bowling on one lane, short oil on one, long oil on the other. Let the best man win.
So, first up, Mats Sandbaekken. Quite a complex routine, and you will have noticed he's a lefty. Opens up with a strike, so puts a bit of pressure on his Swedish opponent. First up.
Yeah, great looking
Keep us
shot
in suspense. Paulsson then nearly cracked a smile in his interview when he got through to the final. He was so delighted to be in that gold medal match, but he knows there's still a job to be done here, and both men straight on to the strike line. Thomas Anderson coaching the Swedish team here this week, just in the background there, giving a high five to Martin.
He's way out on the left-hand side, looking to bring that ball back up the hill into the 1-2 pocket for the left-hander. Look at that, right on the outside of the lane, and there she goes. Great looking double to start with from Mats Sandbaekken.
Yeah, big shout when he wanted that one to cut in. That is what is important. But getting it into that position, as Cass was saying, that's the tricky area. And that's a slightly lucky strike there from Martin Paulsson. Just seemed to come down on his speed there a little, and got a very light touch on the pocket. Yeah,
his radar wasn't 100%, but it's light, and it's working on a double. It's Mats Sandbaekken, the Norwegian. And starts off with the turkey. Great looking shot. 3 in a row.
And quite convincing ones as well. The pins all disappearing straight away, not relying on a mix or messengers.
Let's do him enough credit. I didn't recognise him for a minute, but it's definitely Mats Karlsson.
Oh no, another light shot, I'm afraid, from Martin.
First spare of the match coming up. Successfully executed, but probably going across the boards there won't be so much oil as in a house leak condition.
And that one stayed out in the oil. You will have seen that it aquaplaned, didn't come back up the hill, as the bowlers say, into the pocket.
Well, there's a chance, I guess, that some oil's moved around and Mats was just a little bit too far left out. He's trying to run the shot.
These are all the factors that the bowlers have to consider, and that is a costly open frame, and Sandbaekken knows it.
Well, you can see, Simon, how straight that ball went on the lane that's supposed to be hooking. So he's obviously got snagged up in some oil right in the middle of the lane there.
I think this just underlines how phenomenal it is when a bowler can make a 300 game. You know, and at a big tournament like this as well. But if you can do it in front of the TV cameras, it's something else.
Well, I know you're waiting for your first one on Eurosport, Simon.
That's it. Yeah.
There have been actually a couple of 300s this week. David Kanadi of Germany had one, and a chap called Kurt Truis from Estonia had a 300 game in the 5-man team event. Paulsson strikes again. Yeah, he's either going to get outside it and round it, or inside and go straighter, but at the moment he's going to stay outside, and that's a great looking result. Good recovery from the open frame.
Yeah, neither man is going deep inside, coast to coast, as you may have heard us call it on the PBA.
Very much so, yes. Mats Sandbaekken had the big open frame, and an open frame in a single 10 frame shootout could be the thing that actually loses it. Just the one frame, you've got no chance to get back from it. Paulsson has doubled up in the 4th and 5th. Takes an early lead.
Bit of a who's who of Scandinavian bowling behind these two, as well as Thomas Anderson, who's actually coaching the Swede.
Former captain of the European Weber Cup team.
Well, there's a problem here for Sandbaekken. He's lost the lane.
Well, this is the identical spare that he missed earlier on, 2 frames ago. Just hasn't quite got up. It's light and it's that approach. And as he gets there, he seems to just fall off a bit of imbalance.
Oh, just. He was worried about that one.
Yeah, can't afford to have 2 open frames. So saying the 10-frame shootout, an open frame is an absolute disaster. And Sandbaekken has already had one.
Spare here. But if he keeps striking, all is good. Dump that one down. Oh, dear, how did he leave that?
They call that the perfect tap, the 8-pin. The ball has just driven so hard through, in through the 1-3 pocket, hits the 5-pin, deflects onto the 9 and misses the 8-pin.
Now. And there we go.
Yeah, 117, he's now got an 11-pin lead.
Yeah, so what you're saying, Kat?
But it was such a perfect chop, if you like. It just went straight back, leaving the 8-pin standing. Mats back on with the strike, frame 7. Yep. Certainly needs to double up.
Slightly different type of pinfall for the left-hander, coming in onto the other pocket, the pocket that would be called the Brooklyn side of things. Actually a very comfortable left-hander to watch. He's got a very straightforward style. Not always the case for the lefties. He's still going after it very strong, and this time leaves a ringing 10.
Martin Paulsson is so wide on the right-hand side of that lane. It creates such an angle going to the pocket. That's why the 10-pin stood up. If he was perhaps just a little bit straighter, that 10-pin would have gone.
Sussing that adjustment to get the strike and realising that, you know, millimetres one way or the other could leave a different pin.
Well, how many times have we seen guys, especially professionals, shoot 9, 10, even 11 strikes in a row, absolutely perfect, do exactly the same with the 12th ball for a 300
advantage over this man. Mats Sandbaekken has lost his strike line. Needs to get back on it and double up here. There we go. I'm not sure how much he liked that, but then it came back very nicely.
How smooth was that? It was a great looking shot. And yeah, coach Mats Karlsson liked it.
He lays it on the lane, doesn't he? He doesn't dump it down at all. Coverage that we've had from Barcelona in recent years. There's a number of very strong groups around Europe developing this sport and pushing this sport on. He's done it again.
He's actually heard us talking about that 10-pin off of a pocket hit. That's 3 nice spares in a row off of what looked to be pretty reasonable strike shots. And there's that 10-pin, absolutely solid.
Well, this is going to be as tight as you like in this first game.
Yeah, pretty accurate on that straight shot for the spare, but that's not what he... Looking for a maximum. He's actually done what Paulsson did a few frames ago. That ball has gone right through the 1-2.
So he needs to clear this up, forget the disappointment. And just
only
slides
just,
that out.
Yes, Simon, you're just right.
God,
only just made it. That would have been a disaster had that missed. In the 9th frame, crikey, after a great shot like that for a strike, almost misses the spare. That would have been a fatal error.
Paulsson trying to keep his cards close to his chest. He too needs a strike. And that's going to go a long way to closing that gap. 175 all, but most Paulsson has to beat. And a strike it has to be.
It really has to be a strike, yeah. To give him the opportunity to make another one. If he doesn't strike here, he's only just going to make 200. And he's high through the head pin. Well,
oh dear.
That's how disastrous it is.
He missed the strike, but he then left an open frame. Well, it's a good spare, but it's not what he needed.
Well, he's working on a strike, so a double will just about finish it.
Well, there we go. Got to set himself up for the next game. Different oil pattern, of course, but needs the confidence. 7
strikes in a game of 213 is pretty unfortunate because he had a huge open frame that we saw right in the middle of 2 strikes.
Just about does it. Or if he can spare, then he needs to strike to take it. And down they go.
It's a great looking shot. It doesn't really matter what it looks like. It's carried 10 pins. It is a double 9th and 10th. Mats Karlsson.
Well, we head over to the long oil pattern on the next lane for game 2. I wonder which player that's going to suit. Straight through the head pin from Paulsson, but it's... Well, there's been plenty of them during the course of this week. But in our clash of the Vikings in the final, it's Martin Paulsson that leads Mats Sandbaekken by 1 game to 0. Game 2 to come after the break.